Hey, play ball. Welcome back to another episode of Two Majors and a Minor. And today it's a minor and a major, single major.
Yeah.
Josh Langhoff is here with us again. And well, that's just like the season goes.
Right, yeah.
You know, our little Cubs guitar goes flat. Well, we'll leave it there.
Okay, sounds good.
John, unfortunately, could not be with us today. He's working today somewhere else. So, John, we miss you, buddy, and we'll see you on the next episode, I'm sure.
Work hard.
Work hard. And I think one of our upcoming episodes, we're going to try to do it from the organ booth at Wrigley.
That would be great.
Yeah. So that's in the plans for the future. But we're going to get going right away today because we've got a real special guest that we're excited to bring on. And let's bring him on with a clip of our special guest. Can we do that there, Nick?
Yes, we can.
Awesome.
Oh, what a beautiful night here in Chicago. Bird's eye view of Wrigley Field and not a cloud in the sky. Chicago Cubs taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates. And guess what? It's showtime. A lot of Shota Imanaga jerseys. As Shota Imanaga gets the start. Cubs taking on the Pirates series finale. It's Alex Cohen, Jim Deshaies, and Taylor McGregor joins us shortly. JD, this is a big one here for the Cubs tonight.
Yeah, after two disappointing losses, the Cubs trying to salvage game 3 of this series with the Pirates. This is game number 18 now in the stretch of 18 games against teams with sub-500 records. So far, they're 12-5 in those games, and could surely use a W here tonight.
So it's Shota Imanaga against Domingo Germán. The 1-2. Grounder to short. Dansby to first. There it is. No hitter. Shota Imanaga. Nate Pearson, Porter Hodge. A combined oh-no.
And let's bring on our special guest. Thank you, Cubs and Marquee broadcaster Alex Cohen.
What a voice.
Hey, guys.
Wow.
That was fun. Let's do that again.
Wasn't that fun?
Yeah, it was fun.
First question has got to be right out of the chute here. What's it like calling a no-hitter like that special day?
That was pretty cool. And it was one that we didn't really know was happening until the 5th or 6th inning, because if you remember that game against the Pirates, there were 2 plays that were originally called hits for the Pirates that were ultimately errors. And they were definitely errors, but they changed them in the middle of the game. So we looked at the scoreboard in the 2nd inning. It was no runs, 1 hit, no errors for the Pirates. And then you look at the end of the 5th inning, and it's no runs, no hits, no errors for the Pirates. And then you're like, okay, no hitter.
Interesting.
And then I looked to my right. I looked at Jim Deshaies. I'm just like, hey, this is your booth. Do you say no hitter? Do you not say no hitter? What's the protocol here? Remember, this is my 4th ever big league game. And he said,
Okay.
Say it to your heart's content. No hitter, no hitter, no hitter, no hitter, no hitter. I'm like, all right, it's on. Come on.
He's not a superstitious guy, then, I take it. Yeah.
No. And we're just supposed to talk about the action. That's what he said. And the action was the no hitter. So got to call that. And it was pretty special.
Cool. And you guys like noticed that on your own, or was like a producer or something talking to you about it?
He brought it up to me, so I don't know if he recognized it himself or somebody told him, but he says, hey, look. And I'm like, oh, there's all zeros on the line score. So
okay. Very cool.
That's kind of how we
That's
figured
pretty
it
awesome.
out. Yep.
I know we were trying to figure out, you were trying to remember, Josh, whether it was you or John in the organ booth that day.
Right. And it must have been John, because I
You
don't
would remember a no-hitter.
You would think so.
Yeah,
I would
right?
hope so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it was just a normal September, early September evening at Wrigley Field against the Pirates. So it was a game that they lost the game before. I believe they got shut out. So it was quite memorable.
Yeah. I wish that show had been able to show up this year late in September, but he'll be back. We'll be good.
Yeah.
He'll be good. So I know you've had quite the journey through the broadcast world. A lot of times we see you on interviews and so forth, but tell us more about your background and how you got your start into baseball broadcasting.
Yeah, it was a non-linear path to get to this point. So grew up just outside of Philadelphia, played high school baseball, but I knew I wanted to get into broadcasting. So my friends and I started the sports broadcasting club at our high school, Upper Dublin High School, just outside of Philadelphia. And it's fun. The three of us started it, and all three of us are still in the industry. It's myself.
Oh, wow.
It's Josh. Yeah, it's Josh Getzoff, who was the television play-by-play voice of the Pittsburgh Penguins, and Steven Watson, who does pre- and post-game for FanDuel Sports Network up in Milwaukee. So he does for the Bucks and the Brewers. So all of us from suburban Philadelphia are still in it 20 years later. So that's fun. Went to Indiana University, studied journalism, did student radio for 4 years, Big Ten Student U and all that fun stuff. But knew I specifically wanted to get into baseball. So 2 years as an intern with the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs, AAA affiliate of the Philadelphia Phillies. Then when I graduated college, 1 year in indie ball with the Gateway Grizzlies Frontier League team in East St. Louis. Across the river from St. Louis. 2 years with the Huntsville Stars, AA affiliate for the Brewers. And then after that season, the team got sold. So I went out to Oakland, California, broadcast media relations assistant with the Oakland Athletics. There was no play-by-play broadcasting, and I just learned. Just sat back and listened to Ken Korak and Vince Cotroneo and learned what to do, what not to do, and learned how much I missed having a microphone in front of my face. They kind of started from the ground up. Went to Melbourne, Australia, called games in the Australian Baseball League for a winter here, summer out there. Then came back, summer in rookie ball for the Idaho Falls Chuckers, rookie league affiliate for the Kansas City Royals. 2 years with the Bowling Green Hot Rods, single A affiliate for the Tampa Bay Rays, and then 7 years for the Iowa Cubs. AAA affiliate for the Chicago Cubs. So, yeah, nonlinear, long path, multiple states, lots of bus
You've
rides.
been everywhere,
Yeah, I stamped the U.S. passport, so to speak. So it's been
fascinating,
an interesting track. Yep.
What was Australia like?
It was incredible.
Yeah.
It was like studying abroad, but for baseball. I got out there and it was games 4 days a week. And then for the other 3 days a week, I could do whatever I want. So you learn to balance fun and baseball. And you also learn in Australia, baseball is not the most popular sport. It's not the 10th most popular sport. I remember the first game I called out there was like, it's a 6-4-3 double play. End of inning. And I remember a listener being like, what's a 6-4-3 double play? What does that mean? And it's just like, okay. So it really was a learning experience for me, breaking down baseball to like its most simple, pure form. And I was able to describe the action better. And I think without that experience, I don't know if I'm here. So I think it was really important.
Very cool.
Fascinating. So do you have are you developing a signature call that everybody knows it's Alex Cohen? I know your first year, full year at Marquee, but like the Jack Brickhouse, hey, that type of thing.
No, I want to wait. I want that to come organically. I mean, in the minor leagues, I used to say bye-bye to cap off every home run, but I mean, every home run is different. I like a good Cubs win, sing it, fly the W, but stick to the basics. Just, I want it to come organically.
Yeah.
Well, it comes through, I think, in his broadcasting. I love hearing you call.
Yeah, very natural. Yeah.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Who were your mentors as you went through? You just told us the traveling and the journey that you took to get here. Who were your mentors as you came through this?
Man, I've had a lot of them. You start early on in minor league ball. My first bosses, Matt Province and John Schaefer, Lehigh Valley, Adam Young with Gateway. Just coming up through professional baseball that summer in Oakland, Ken Korak, Vince Cotroneo with the Oakland Athletics. So many other play-by-play broadcasters in baseball that I either listened to, like Harry Callis growing up in Philadelphia. Pat Hughes obviously has been a huge influence, being able to watch and listen to him. Boog Shambi and Marquee, he might be the most influential person of my career just by learning from him, the advice that he's given me, and just listening to his rapport with JD. Len Casper as well. So I'm really lucky to be able to know, meet, speak to, trust some notable figures in baseball play-by-play and sports play-by-play that have certainly helped me get to this point.
Sure. Well, that makes sense. Okay, I'll tell you what. Let's get to the nitty gritty. Cubs.
Do it. Let's go.
Wonderful year. A great year, a fun year.
It was a good year. Yeah.
It was. There were some exciting games. I know for one, we were at the game back in April with the Diamondbacks that weekend. My wife gave me for my birthday
crazy.
the Zachary Hotel. So we stayed overnight at the Zachary Hotel for the weekend. We saw the big comeback against the Diamondbacks, and then the next day they came back and won again. We saw some great games during the summer. You guys have broadcast some great games for, when we're watching you guys on TV. And we finished it off going to Milwaukee, my wife and I, and we took our son for his birthday and our granddaughter.
That's awesome.
But Milwaukee had some pretty good seats. We're in the 400 section, but good seats. We could see everything.
Yeah.
And then the Brewers beat us at our own game. Home runs, and nobody scores unless you hit a home run in that game. So what were your thoughts on that game and how the season ended?
Yeah, I mean, I remember it starting in Japan, and they start 0-2 against the Dodgers, and you're on that long plane ride back, and you think, what is the ceiling for this team? And if you would have said to me on that flight that this team would win 92 games, that this team would have 6 possible Gold Glovers, that this team would have 3 All-Stars, that they win a playoff series, that they were 1 game away to going to the NLCS, like, would you take that at that time on March 21st? You know what I'd say? Sign me up.
You betcha.
Sign me up.
Yeah,
Sign
totally.
me absolutely up. So overall, I think it was an impressive season. I mean, they surpassed their expected win total. Guys had breakout years. Obviously, there was meat left on the bone a little bit against the Brewers. You would have hoped they would have gone to the NLCS. But I think overall it was a success.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think most Cub fans, it was a season of very high highs and very low lows. I mean, we were so hot for the first half of the season. We thought, what we have, an 8.5 game lead or something on the Brewers at one point. And then all of a sudden, the Cubs did not play as badly as some people would appear, only because the Brewers won like a couple of 10-game winning streaks there.
Yeah, they had 2 double-digit winning streaks. They went on a stretch where they were 25-6 in a 31-game stretch. So even if you play 500 baseball or slightly above 500 baseball, you're going to lose a lot of ground.
Yeah,
exactly. So that that's the way the ball bounces. Sometimes it was their year. They play well for the 162 game season, and the jury is still out on how this year will end. But one last question on this season and the way it ended.
Sure.
I'm curious, as we all know, we were there, we saw it, but the Brewers waved an L flag at the end.
Cheeky.
Yeah. And I'm thinking, okay, we do wave the W flag every time we win, but that's to celebrate our victory. It's not to celebrate somebody else's loss.
Defeat. Loss. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I mean, I could understand that. Yeah, I can understand that. For me, it is, they won, they could do what they want, but people and teams make decisions. Will that come back and bite the Brewers in the behind next year when the Cubs might have even more to play for, not only to beat a division rival, but to avenge an NLDS loss, and then that little cherry on top. So that definitely, I mean, it's could be bulletin board material, not that they need it, but that definitely added to the sour taste left in the mouth of Cubs fans, and I'm sure some Cubs players. And as I said, I didn't take it offensive. Brewers fans can do what they want. Brewers players can do what they want, but is that a decision that's going to benefit them in 2026 and on? We'll see.
Well, we will see. Well, as someone who survived 1969, I took it personally, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
But you're right. Let's move on, and it's on to next year. And like you said, does it have a play in it? Well, I think the Dodgers have taken care of the karma for us at least for a couple of days.
Right. We'll see how it shakes out tonight.
Yeah. So as we head into the off season, what are your thoughts on what the Cubs should do? Obviously, Jed Hoyer and company can't relay to us what's going to happen? Because they have to keep that tight-lipped as they navigate through the offseason and who's available and what they're going to do to improve the team for next year. But kind of what are your thoughts? Kyle Tucker, will he be back? Will he not be back? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think they ultimately make the trade for Tucker with the intention of re-signing him. Like you deal Cam Smith, you deal Hayden Wesneski, and you deal Isak Paredes,
Right.
not necessarily for a one-year player. So I think there will be conversations and somewhat of a goal to re-sign Kyle Tucker. But if you look at the Cubs, they have a lot of guys under contract, and it's their last year. Seiya Suzuki, Ian Happ, Nico Horner, Carson Kelly, Matthew Boyd are all on the last year or two of their contracts. So Jameson Taillon as well. So when you have $100 million plus off the books coming in 26 and 27 combined, there's a lot of flexibility, not necessarily this year, but next year. So I think the core, Pete Crow Armstrong is signed for the better half of the next decade. Michael Busch is under contract for a long time. Dansby's under contract for a long time. Nico's got a year. Hap's got a year. Seiya's got a year. Cade Horton's under contract for a long time. Matthew Boyd's got a year. Justin Steele has a year. So I think you know what you have. I mean, in the things that you need to improve on or you need to add. Obviously, Kyle Tucker's decision looms large. Kyle Tucker's decision looms large, and where that money is allocated is either in a star right fielder or somewhere else. Could it be an additional starting pitcher? Could it be a power right-handed bat? Could it be some more higher leverage relievers? Like what they got out of Brad Keller, spectacular. Drew Pomeranz, spectacular. Caleb Thielbar, really good. Daniel Palencia starting the year in AAA and then going up to the big leagues and being their closer. But can they add the higher leverage proven back end of the bullpen arm? That could be a part of where the resources are spread if you don't give them to Kyle Tucker. So I think Tucker's decision really dictates that.
Yeah, I think you're right. Once they make that decision between both Tucker and the Cubs, I think then that's how they decide how they go forward from that. The decisions they make will be based on that. Because obviously if they sign him, they're taking one track. And if they don't sign him, there's an entirely different track for that.
I mean, there's a couple different paths.
Yeah, exactly. Now, you've seen a lot of these younger players. You've had the opportunity over the last several years to see them come up through Iowa. You've broadcast. You see them play every day. Were there any surprises of who's made it that you're kind of surprised that they did? Or are there some people there? Who do you think is going to be next in line to be the next PCA?
Yeah, I mean, no surprises. And then I think I can answer both of those in one. I mean, I think Moises Ballesteros is a special hitter, special. I mean, he comes up at 21. You don't know what defensive position he's going to play. Well, there's a DH, designated hitter. And he's not a power hitter. He's not a three-hole hitter. He's a hitter, flat out, Duke and rake. So it's just a part of, does he stay in the system? Do you trade him to somebody else and acquire, a pitcher or a power right-handed bat? Or do you let him DH? Because he can hit at any single level. He could hit at the international level. He could hit at the big league level. He could hit at any level. So it's just the amount of early success that he had and now how he projects as a part of the Cubs lineup.
Yeah, exactly. I think that was part of some of the playoff frustration too, is that the Cubs were not able to get him into more games until that last game. But where would you put him? There was no place to insert him into that lineup.
I mean, and where your DH was, I mean, Seiya Suzuki was your hottest hitter. And then you had to play Seiya in right. And then you just had to, mix and match with Kyle Tucker not being able to play the field. So you weren't going to take out Tucker. He was your DH. Yep. You weren't going to take out Seiya. He was your hottest hitter. Where would you play him?
Yeah.
That's exactly right. Well, it's definitely going to be a fun off season and a lot of talk during the off season, and Cub fans going back and forth trying to decide and putting their thoughts into it and what's going to happen. And I imagine all of you broadcasters are going to have a lot of fun talking on Marquee all winter, trying to figure this out.
Well, we're going to stay in the studio because it's warm in there. So
yeah, exactly. Okay, I've got a question. We're going to go a little lighter now.
Sure.
What's your favorite song that Josh and John played during the regular season?
Ooh,
Ooh,
pressure.
Right, that's pressure. Maybe that's not.
They can't hear us in that booth.
No. Oh gosh. What's? It's only on a vacation far away. Then you're gonna lose yourself tonight. That's one of the ones. Yeah.
Yeah, who does that song?
It.
John must play that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
That was a real roundabout way of getting my song out. I don't know what the song is called, but that was a big one.
The outfield sang it,
right?
right?
The outfield, exactly.
So it's baseball approved.
One of you guys played Mr. Brightside by the Killers.
John plays Mr. Brightside.
Yeah, Mr. Brightside. That's a big one for me. That brings me back to my youth. So I mean, those would be the two. Yeah, those would be the two ones for me.
That's fantastic.
See, I listen inside the booth.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Of course, no problem.
So the follow-up question is, how much influence do you think the Wrigley Field organists have over the course of a game with the fans and winning ball games?
More than you think.
Yeah, I told you.
Wrigley
they don't
Field
want to take credit for
it. I'm not comfortable with that responsibility.
No,
well,
it's definitely it is a responsibility. Like you definitely set the tone of what the fans are feeling, especially early on in games, but especially pregame too, setting the mood. So I think it's more than most would think, and that you would like to lead on.
Well, in the first inning, I do always think, okay, this is a clapping ballpark. I'm going to get them clapping. And so that's the first thing we always work on in the bottom of the first. It's just getting people clapping. Yeah. It was a lot of fun. The Thursday night game where Freddie Peralta was pitching and the fans were taunting him by chanting his name over and over again. My producer allowed me to initiate some Freddie chants on the organ. And that was Freddie. I felt drunk with power briefly. Yeah.
Oh, okay. You know what? Now I feel badly because you know what? That's why they flew the loser flag on us, because they were getting even with us for the Freddie chant.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
I don't think that's. I think they would have done that. They would have done that anyway.
Yeah, you're right. Now I feel bad again. I thought I was there. Alex, take us through like a typical game day. What it's like for you from the time you get to the ballpark to the time play ball comes around.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still at the point where I like to get to the ballpark earlier than I normally would any other game, because there's nerves showing up to Wrigley Field and making sure that I'm prepared and I have all my notes and I have all my reads. So I usually am like the first person to get there. Probably an hour before media availability. I fill out my scorebook to like what I know is going on, like the starting pitcher, some of the storylines. I'll go down for media availability, talk to the players, talk to the coaches. I make it a really important, like I definitely go down for batting practice at this point. And you just learn so much. You can track the ball, see the direction the wind is blowing, how guys look, the adjustments that they're making. And it's important to be down there. I try to have one dedicated 10-minute conversation per day that's different, that just throws off my brain chemistry. It could be with a player, it could be with a coach, it could be with a clubby, it could be with a bus driver. I don't care. Just something like that. It's 10 minutes of different conversation, because it just makes you think a little differently. And you don't know if you're getting a 2-1 game or a 12-1 game. And I'll tell you what, that conversation is really important in a 12-1 game in the 5th inning. And you can go back to that. So
that's
just
interesting.
Just something different. Just a 10-minute conversation that is different than the previous day. And it's different than the previous day. So I go to batting practice, go up, fill up the rest of my scorebook. I'll go have dinner, and then I'll make sure that I go to the visiting radio or television booth for the other team and just be like, hey, what's going on with your team? What are you seeing? What's different now than what was 5 games ago, 10 games ago, last month? Just to see, because they watch that team every day. I watch that team maybe, let's say it's the Pirates, probably 13 times per year. So just to get an insight of what they see and how I can integrate that to the action. Let's say the broadcasters say, oh, we haven't been playing great. Our starting pitcher has been unable to get out of the first. And then the Cubs score 4 runs in the first. It's proper context. So it's really important to have that type of discussion. Then we'll record the pregame intro. Then we'll call the game. Then I'll sit around for like 10 or 15 minutes just to pinch myself and look at Wrigley Field after the game. And then I'll leave, and then I'll go home, and I'll probably fall asleep 3 hours later. So it's a long day.
Yeah.
It is, but it's interesting because I don't think people always realize how much prep work goes into broadcasting.
Yeah, I had no idea. That's
right?
really impressive.
Yeah, it is because you have to do your homework so you sound intelligent when you're doing that.
I do.
Yourself?
Yeah, I prepare a fair amount. I mean, fortunately, in the big leagues, like not only do we prepare, but we have producers and statisticians that really help us out. We talk together before every game and talk about the storylines and talk about the trends that we want to touch upon. And we essentially go player by player and say, hey, Dansby Swanson on the road has hit a home run in 3 out of his last 4 games. He's got a 14-game hitting streak on the road. We're in Pittsburgh. Right. We'll talk about that. Ian Happ crushes the NL Central. He crushes the Reds. He crushes the Pirates. But also he's been doing pretty well against the Brewers. So we'll talk about that. So just to make sure that we have our ducks in a row and our I's dotted and our T's crossed with every player and every situation. And I'm really, really lucky to have a staff at Marquee that is synced up to what we want to say during the broadcast, whether it's me, whether it's JD or Demp or Elise or Cliff, Taylor or Elise. Like they are just they understand what a broadcast should sound like. So I'm really lucky to have the staff that I do.
Well, it's fun. It makes the games a lot more interesting having it because I love watching a baseball game because it doesn't have a clock. I don't like the extra runner on second base and extra innings.
Oh, yeah.
Don't care for that rule. And, okay, the pitch clock and everything, fine. Yeah. But I love to strategize the game, and I love listening to you guys explain and come up with the little trivia bits during the ball game because I just find that I think it enhances the game so much.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's just no other thing like it. But so did you prefer doing, I know you do mostly TV, but
yeah.
Do you notice a difference going from TV to radio? And the broadcast, difference. You have to be more descriptive.
I mean, it's a huge difference. Yeah. I mean, and both are great in their own way. I mean, broadcasting radio, you're kind of like your own artist. Like you're painting the picture. Yeah. Like you're talking about the wind blowing left or right, where the defense is playing, the sun is setting, if it's cotton candy cloud skies, batter in the batter's box, where's the bat draped? Pitcher, which side of the rubber is pitching from the windup or from the stretch? Is it a sidearm delivery, 3/4 delivery? All those things are part of a radio broadcast, and you don't have to touch them on TV because they could see that. So a TV broadcast is a lot more storytelling, a lot more conversational, and in my opinion, a lot more personal. So I think both have they're so different. And I think both have like different elements that I love. Yeah.
Well, I love the way Pat Hughes before a game. I always want, if I'm listening to the game on radio, I always want to get there at the beginning because I love the way Pat Hughes describes the other team's uniforms, right down to the shoes and the socks. Yeah. And it paints that picture.
Very
okay,
detailed.
now I'm ready because before there was TV, that was all we had. So you had to picture that.
Yeah.
So that I find that just fascinating. The differences for it, and it's obvious on the radio. You have to paint that picture because you can't see it.
Right.
Yeah. We do this thing on two majors and minor every show. We play a little Cubs trivia. So if you're up for it, we're going to ask you a Cubs trivia.
I'm probably going to struggle with this, but you know what? Yeah, misery loves company. Let's do it.
Well, we do too. When the tables turned on us, we
always struggle.
Yeah,
that's a lie. That's a lie. Tim always knows everything.
Right. Yeah.
Well, we'll find. You see if you can find one that you can stump me with there.
All right.
Okay. But I'm going to ask this one. There was a year where two Cub players won both the MVP and the Cy Young Award in the same year. What year was it, and who were those players?
I mean, was it Sandberg and Sutt?
There you
Whoa!
There you go.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, 1-1. Ball game over. We're done. Cubs win. Fly the W.
Cubs
Sing the
win.
song.
Yeah. And obviously the year is obvious. But yeah, well, you got that. I thought I came up with a good one there, but
it was a good one.
It was a good one. Yeah.
We did
really
it.
good at that.
Nice. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Well, who's the most famous number 14
Most famous number 14
on the Cubs?
I feel like this is a trick question.
There has never been a number 14.
I feel like this is a trick question.
Oh, this one I thought was an easy one.
Yeah.
All right. I'll give you a hint. It's a retired number.
Oh.
I mean, most famous?
I feel like I should know this. Yeah.
The number 14. Most famous number 14.
And it will never be
Chicago
surpassed
Cubs.
if it's
and it's a retired number.
Yeah. So
I can give you one more hint when you're ready.
Yeah.
You need another hint?
The hints make me feel worse about myself, but go ahead.
Well, this one will really make you feel bad.
All right. Yeah.
This player is buried near Wrigley Field.
Buried near
in a cemetery close to Wrigley.
Would you say walking distance?
Yeah, you could walk there.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. It's before you get to Irving Park.
Interesting.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
No. I'll have to visit that grave.
Obviously.
Give it to me.
Remember, okay, I'll give you one last hint.
Oh, no.
One last hint.
My goodness.
Remember, I told you, I remembered 1969, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's the last
That's
hint.
the hint.
That's the hint.
69.
I mean, all right, here's what I got. I mean, it's probably Ernie. It's probably Ernie,
there
right?
You go,
Yeah.
I think where I was just, I felt like, number 4, you said most famous. And I was like, is this a trick? I mean, Ernie was my top guess. I just didn't want to get tricked. It's Ernie. There you go.
Well, you know what? In all fairness, it was probably unfair because I did say the most famous, because in my mind, it's the most famous number in Cubs history, 14. But yeah.
So he's buried in that cemetery, right?
Yeah, he's buried nearby.
On Irving. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, on Irving, whatever that cemetery
by that
is.
place.
Yeah.
Okay. Huh.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah. I would never go by there after a ball game, night game especially. But yeah, that's supposedly where Ernie is buried. Could I be wrong? It'd be the first time, but it's possible. It's possible.
Okay.
Nice.
All right, Nick, did you have any other trivia you want to throw at us?
No, I didn't. I couldn't find anything. The one website I did decided to do some funky stuff on me.
Oh.
So
okay.
It's been an interesting day.
Then we're done with trivia, I guess, for the day.
All right.
So, best game of the year. How many games did you actually broadcast this year? Just approximately. Who was your most
around 35. Yeah, around 35.
So that's awesome. So what's your most memorable game that you broadcast this year, and why?
I mean, I think it's the 2 walk-offs I was able to call Wrigley Field. One, the game against the Dodgers where, Miguel Amaya homered into the basket, down to the final out against Tanner Scott, brought it into extra innings, and Ian Happ won it with a walk-off single. That was the first time. It was like April. It was cold. I was like, whoa, like this is a different animal.
There. I was there. Now, were you playing that night? Or was that
gosh. I don't know. It's all a blur.
I know. I came up to see whichever one of you were there.
All right. Yeah.
In fact, that was the night I brought my nephew up to see you guys.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that was that game. Huh?
That was that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's one. And then the other one would be the Justin Turner walk-off home run against the Orioles. Like a walk-off Sunday, Wrigley Field, day game. Like it doesn't get better than that. So
yeah.
Well, yeah, you got quite a few of the walk-offs. So obviously you should be doing more games if we're going to get these walk-offs. That's how that works, right?
From your mouth to God's ears. So
right, exactly. One last baseball question.
Sure.
We kind of touched on it. Starting pitching. Obviously, we had 2 outstanding top of the rotation guys down at the end of the year for the playoffs. Obviously, Justin Steele and Cade Horton will be back at the beginning of next year, and will probably be at the top of that rotation. And we still have Talion, and we still have Shota. What do you think? Are we going to do? What do you think we should do? Do you think we need to get more depth at the top of the rotation before we hit spring training?
I mean, you can never have enough good starting pitching. Like that, there's no rules to how many good starting pitchers that you can have. I think it's a great it's a great foundation to have. Well, first, like Shota, Matthew Boyd, Boyd an all-star. He's back for another year. You know, Shota has the 2025 or 2026 option that they have to figure out. But I mean, Shota's been one of the most productive pitchers in baseball over the 2 years he's been with the Cubs, and specifically the first year and a half. Getting Justin Steele back is a big deal. Cade Horton probably going to win National League Rookie of the Year. So that's 4 starters right there. And then you have Jamison Tyone, who was one of the best pitchers in the second half. And there's your rotation. That being said, you don't know how Justin Steele is going to respond coming back from injury. You don't know how Shota Imanaga is going to respond from the second half struggles. You don't know how Matthew Boyd on the back end of this contract, a full year off of Tommy John surgery or a second full year off of Tommy John. So there's a lot of question marks. You also can bring back Colin Ray on a team option. So I would imagine they add an arm, any way to make the team better. Will it be Dylan Cease or Framber Valdez or Ranger Suarez? Maybe. Will it be an arm that they trade for from another team that's looking to shed a deal? Possibly. Could they rely on some of the younger guys, the Brandon Birdsells, the Jackson Wigginses? I know Birdsell's coming back from injury, but they also have pitching within the organization. So there's a lot of different ways this team can go from a starting pitching capacity.
Yeah, I think the one thing that we can count on is it's going to be a little bit different when we hit the beginning of the year in April next year, for sure.
Sure.
Always is.
Yeah. Well, excellent. Well, good grief, Alex. I want to thank you for being with us today. This was fabulous. We hope you can join us again, maybe in studio on the next time if you're in town. Yeah. And this was great. We really appreciate you being with us. We do one more
thanks
thing.
for having me on. I appreciate it. Yeah. Whatever you want to do. Sure.
That's fantastic. We do one other thing that's tradition on 2 majors and a minor. We're going to run just a real quick commercial at the end here. And when we come back, we do our own version of the 7th inning stretch. And we take turns playing it. And then our guests will sing the 7th inning stretch.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Hopefully you were warned.
No, he wasn't warned.
Oh,
no.
Okay.
Let's do it.
All right.
Are you down for that?
I'm down. Let's do it.
All right. Beautiful. Well, let's do it. Nick, let's run that commercial. And who is our sponsor today?
Piano Trends of Piano Trends in Crystal Lake.
I love those guys.
I know that place.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Welcome to Piano Trends Music and Band Company, Crystal Lake, Illinois. I'm Tim Paul, and I'm one of the owners here at Piano Trends, and I want to tell you 3 things about Piano Trends Music. Here's what you're going to find. Fun, more fun, and even more fun. That's right. You're going to have fun learning to play an instrument. We've got a lot of fun instruments to choose from for you to purchase, buy, or rent. And we have fun repairing your own instrument to get it up to snuff just for you. And your timing might be just perfect when you come visit us for fun. We might just have a live jam session going on with lifting spirits through music. And you're welcome to join us or just watch. Plus, you never know who's going to show up at Piano Trends Music. You know, like this guy. PianoTrends.com. We'll see you soon.
Hi, Paul. Paul McCartney on the show, too. That's amazing.
I can't hear it.
Can you hear me now?
There we go.
There we go.
All right.
There we go.
All right. You ready?
I'm ready.
1, a 2, a 3.
Take me out to the ball game. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back for its root. Root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame. 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Let's go some runs.
All right. Well done.
Thanks for being a good sport, Alex. That was wonderful.
Anytime, guys.
That was beautiful. Once again, thank you. Our guest tonight was Alex Cohen, broadcaster for Marquee Sports and Chicago Cubs baseball. We'll see you at the next ball game, and we'll round the bases, and we'll say goodbye for now. Thanks again, Alex. Thank you, Josh.